This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back with new information in a deadly mosque shooting in Canada.
This shooting rampage left 6 people dead, and the Prime Minister is calling it a terrorist attack. As ABC's Lana Zach tells us, the White House is now offering assistance.
It's a very, very, very big tragedy for us, and we have a sadness. We cannot express our sadness.
Members of the Quebec City Islamic Cultural Center remembered their fellow members killed in prayer on Sunday.
We have professors in university. We have shopkeepers.
This man asked that the 6 dead be remembered as members of the community. They had wives, children, families. Prime Minister Trudeau said the act of terror committed against the Muslim community was an attack against all Canadians.
We will mourn this devastating attack, and we will heal together as one community, as one country, and as one family.
Investigators are piecing together the details of the fatal shooting attack that left 6 people dead, 8 more injured. After initially saying 2 suspects were in custody, authorities determined one was a witness. The other believed to be responsible for the attack, but investigators are saying little about the motivation.
We know that this horror has been based on intolerance and hatred towards one specific community. It's too early to say exactly what kind of message these people, horrible message they wanted to send.
President Trump spoke with Canada's Prime Minister and offered condolences as well as assistance. According to White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, both men expressed caution at coming to any early conclusions. Lana Zach, ABC News, New York.
Some good news when it comes to President George H.W. Bush's health. The former president is now out of the hospital. His rep says the 92-year-old was released from Houston Methodist Hospital earlier today. He was admitted more than 2 weeks ago with a respiratory issue related to pneumonia. Bush spent several days in ICU to treat the issue. His wife, former First Lady Barbara Bush, was also at the same hospital for bronchitis. She was released last week after taking antibiotics. Great news.
Yeah. For a second full day, Manatee County commissioners are listening to people who are both for and against a plan for Mosaic to expand its phosphate mining operation.
The company is asking commissioners for approval to rezone 3,600 acres east of its Wingate mine near Myakka City. ABC7's Ray Collins joins us with the latest. Ray.
Haley and Scott, the week began just as last week ended with plenty of emotional comment from both sides. The first hearing was set for last September, but it was delayed after a major sinkhole at Mosaic's Polk County plant. So now the company hopes to use almost 4,000 acres of land in eastern Manatee County for phosphate mining. Now, some there say it might help the area. Many others don't like the risks. In fact, this neighbor says she has 7 acres and is against the proposal.
I just don't want them there because that's my livelihood, and I want to go forward with my business. As a contributor to society, I can no longer do that.
We've been operating in this area since the early 80s, with peaceful coexistence, not only with our neighbors, with Duet Preserve, and we've monitored the site, we've maintained relationships with our neighbors.
Now, if the county does say yes, Mosaic still needs approval from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. Student debt plagues students nationwide, and now Governor Rick Scott is supporting legislative and budget proposals that would make higher education more affordable. The National Student Loan Data System reports $1.3 trillion in outstanding federal student debt nationwide. And in Florida, just 44% of undergraduates at state universities graduate within 4 years. 71% need up to 6 years to graduate. Governor Scott hopes to change those statistics by broadening Bright Future scholarships to cover summer classes, eliminating sales tax on textbooks, freezing all fees at state colleges and universities, and capping tuition at state colleges.
It's great that we have students that want to go to higher education, but the truth is it doesn't help you if you can't afford it.
Your early years after college, which should be the years in which you're establishing yourself and really positioning yourself within your career, you can be burdened down by the debt, and that limits your choices.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll take a look at Governor Scott's proposal and what it could mean for students statewide and here on the Suncoast.
This year, Florida families could get a break on the cost of school supplies. State lawmakers will consider expanding the back-to-school sales tax holiday this year. Last year's tax-free shopping period was just 3 days long as lawmakers dealt with a dwindling budget. This year, legislators will look into expanding it so that shoppers can avoid paying sales tax from August 4th through August 13th on clothes that cost $100 or less per item. The tax break would also apply to school supplies that cost $15 or less, and personal computers and related accessories that cost $1,000 or less.
You got a lot of people, you have both parents working, or maybe you only have a single member of the family. So to give them more time to get out there and buy the needed supplies they need to get back to school is critically important. So having it 10 days, that's the goal.
This year, Florida lawmakers will also consider a 3-day sales tax holiday for military veterans.
We'll all take the breaks.
Yes, we will.
It adds up. Let's find out more on our weather right now. A chilly day on the Sun Coast and a chilly night ahead, right, Bob?
Yeah, boaters need a break too. It's been rough going on the waters as well, Scott. We looking at the high waves this morning and into the early afternoon. You can see that quite clearly. And then notice the last few frames again, the seas start to calm down. So the small craft advisory has been lifted. So are the marine warnings for coastal locations such as rip current advisory and looks like high surf advisory has expired. So good news on that front. But if you live inland, you're going to see some frost forming, especially well east of I-75. 61 degrees right now, dew point. Lowest I've seen it, 32 degrees, and the barometer 30.21. That's high, and that continues to rise. Now temperatures not terribly cold right now, but as that sun gets lower in the sky and eventually sets here in the next 20 minutes or so, we are going to see temperatures fall pretty quickly tonight. In the low 60s, 61 in Venice, 62 in Inglewood, 63 in Northport, and the Gulf water temperature now has cooled some 5 degrees since Friday, and looks as though temperatures will stay pretty cold at least overnight in inland areas. We're talking 30s, upper 30s to low 40s across most of the area. If you live right on the water, generally mid to upper 40s anticipated. Frost advisory in the area blue that you see covering Highlands County, also into Hardee and DeSoto counties tonight, where temperatures will get cold enough and the wind will let up to allow some patchy frost to develop, especially in wind-protected areas. I would not be surprised to see some frost either into Manatee and Sarasota counties in those wind-protected areas. And it looks like cold bodies, like for example cars, automobiles, even windshields could see some of that frost, but it doesn't appear that it's going to form on any kind of vegetation at this point in Manatee and Sarasota counties. We had some rain yesterday, about 1/4 inch to 3/10 of an inch in places, with a few showers on Longboat Key down to Sarasota and all the way into Venice and Inglewood and Northport. The good news is we needed the rain, we got some, and it looks like we're not going to see much more for the rest of this week. All that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. An Atlanta Braves player and his family are recovering after police say their SUV was hit by a man who had stolen a Miami police officer's cruiser. 31-year-old Braves infielder Sean Rodriguez, his wife Giselle, and their 2 young children were T-boned by the stolen cruiser Saturday afternoon in Miami-Dade County. The unidentified suspect was killed in the crash. Rodriguez was not hurt, but his other family members, including his wife, were hospitalized. Rodriguez's wife is in fair condition. Their 2-year-old and 8-year-old children are now serious condition, but stable. Rodriguez played the last 2 seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates and before that with the Tampa Bay Rays. He signed with the Braves in November.
And with the Braves in exclusive talks with Sarasota County and the West Villages in Northport, major questions still remain.
Like how will the city's infrastructure hold up to several thousand people packing into an area on a game day? ABC7's Christopher Bradley joins us live from Northport with more on those concerns. Christopher?
Well, good evening, Scott and Haley. The long and short of it is these roadways here in Northport, which really lead up to the potential stadium that could be built, will need some serious work done. These roadways will have to be widened quite a bit to accommodate all of the people they're anticipating coming down here. And when those people are here, they will need somewhere to stay. And there is a desperate need for hotels between the Venice and Northport area. But all of this work really is contingent upon the Braves deciding to move their spring training home here to Northport. This roadway isn't exactly designed to hold thousands of cars all at once.
If you're going to have that volume of traffic, you need to expand the roads. It's pretty much a no-brainer.
Frank DeBundo lives nearby and rides his bike along West Villages Parkway every day. He isn't exactly jumping for joy that the Braves will be so close to home.
I have mixed emotions. I think it'll be good for the economy, but it's going to increase the population and traffic.
This is where the proposed stadium will be built, right off West Villages Parkway, which is, right now, single lane in either direction.
The city will be reviewing the transportation studies to make sure that the stadium and the roadway systems can handle the peak hour trips for these facilities.
Any changes that need to be made will be handled by the West Villages, as well as any new sewer systems, power systems, and the like.
That's why they have an improvement district. The district pays for the infrastructure so that the city of Northport taxpayers are not burdened with the cost of private development.
The Northport Chamber of Commerce tells us there is a striking need for new hotels to accommodate the potential influx of people as well. And finally, the easiest accessible road to I-75, River Road, that too will need to be widened. Sarasota County telling us they understand the importance of the road, saying, quote, "The project's design is complete and county staff are currently working on identifying funding options." Now, earlier today, we did reach out to the developer West Villages, but they told us they could not make a comment while they are in negotiations. Live in Northport, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. If you are sick of sitting in traffic, there could be an easier way to get around town. Today, Sarasota County Area Transit is celebrating the opening of its 5th transfer station. It's right next to the mall at University Town Center and has security cameras, lighting, restrooms, and shaded seating for riders. You can catch a scout bus at the transfer station for routes to Lakewood Ranch, the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, and downtown Sarasota. The new SCAT transfer station will also be within walking distance of Nathan Benderson Park. Benderson Development paid for this new station and they say that it will help the county with maintenance.
It's the first time we've had this total public-private partnership for one of our transit facilities here. So, Benderson built this for us, and of course we'll operate it, and the Benderson will help maintain.
The new SCAT transfer station will likely come in very handy when the park hosts the World Rowing Championships later this year.
There's something new in that area every time I drive through there, it seems.
It's changing, but this is very convenient, especially if you're going from downtown and want to go shopping.
Absolutely. Still to come in your Suncoast News, fine-tuning your diet habits to have a healthier heart.
The American Heart Association has advice on how to structure your day. Straight ahead.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction and collaborate with our designers to create the perfect custom solution for any room. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the showroom nearest to you.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Ideologue. I am an originalist.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now, during our Winter White event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
A new medical device that looks like a swim cap could be a major breakthrough for millions of people with Alzheimer's disease. Banner Health in Phoenix is starting the first phase of a clinical trial with what they call the Neuro-EM. The device uses electromagnetic waves that help with memory loss. Patients will wear the cap for an hour, twice a day, for 2 months. They won't feel or hear anything. Doctors are optimistic it will at least stop the disease from progressing.
Alzheimer's disease is a very slow death sentence. Everyone who gets Alzheimer's is going to die. We have to do something to stop this disease. And we strongly believe now we have a roadmap towards preventing Alzheimer's.
The group is currently looking for patients to help with this study.
If you pay attention to how many meals you eat each day or have considered fasting for your health, you're not alone. Now, top heart doctors are offering some real advice on how you should eat. With more, here's ABC News senior medical contributor Dr. Timothy Johnson.
From tweaking your meal timing to skipping breakfast, we've heard a lot lately about the diet habits that may or may not get you closer to a better weight and a healthier heart. Now the American Heart Association is weighing in on these eating practices, issuing a scientific statement. The researchers examined dozens of studies to finally provide Americans with some guidance about meals and snacks. Their first piece of advice: don't skip breakfast. Evidence suggests that eating breakfast daily is linked to better sugar control and may even help control weight. On fasting, a high-interest topic these days, the researchers found that periodic or intermittent fasting may aid short-term weight loss, but the jury is still out on long-term weight maintenance with this strategy. Also, the decision to have a few larger meals or many smaller meals may not really matter as long as you keep overall calories to a smart limit. The most important thing they say is that Americans need to develop a more intentional approach to their eating, and that is something all of us can chew on. With this Medical Minute, I'm Dr. Timothy Johnson.
And now let's head over to Bob, get a check on our cooler temperatures today.
Cooler temperatures today out in the waters. Things looking pretty calm inside the protected area of Bimini Bay here. You can see beautiful clear skies, a few cirrus clouds coming in overhead at times. It looks as though we will see a gorgeous sunset tonight. And temperatures chilling out pretty quickly, too. Right now into the upper 50s to low 60s, but expected to drop pretty quickly into the upper 30s to low 40s again just after midnight. And this is a shot from the Meadows Golf and Country Club. Linda Frazier getting this. Looks like it was a shot from today, and we had some clouds around, but generally fair skies. A little reinforcing shot of some colder air. The cooler weather all across the southeast, for that matter, as we get some north to northwesterly wind flow, and that northwest wind will continue to move down toward the southeast and bring in the cooler air. Just one more day, and then things start to go back above average as quickly as Wednesday. 61 right now. The dew point pretty low, 32 degrees, and typically during the summer months our dew point temperatures at 70, and we've seen a couple of those 70-degree dew point temperatures this winter, but this is more winter-like, and winds out of the north-northwest at 10. The pressure way up there, 30-21. The high today was only 63, well below the average of 72. 58 was the morning low. We'll be below the average low tomorrow morning at 52 is our normal low. We'll get into the low 40s for the most part across most of the area. No rainfall to report. We did get a little bit over the weekend, not a lot. Temperatures right now, 60 in Jacksonville, 61 in Orlando. Much warmer in Miami at 71, and temperatures close to coast into the low 60s there. 60 now in Sebring, Lake Placid, and 63 in Arcadia. Northport, the same at 63 degrees. Northport, you'll get down right around 38 degrees for an overnight low tonight. 65 the Gulf water temperature. That has cooled some 5 degrees just over the weekend and will continue to drop down into the low 60s by Wednesday morning. Now, as far as the wave heights go, they are coming down all across the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the buoys there checking in with just 4 to 5 foot seas well offshore. Now, the wind forecast, it was windy and breezy today and making it feel a little bit colder out there, especially in the open waters there and on the beaches. But tomorrow, a different story. That wind will be out of the northeast. It will be light, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour, eventually switching more to an east-southeasterly direction, which will warm us up as high pressure starts to build in. This is the futurecast indicating no rainfall for us over the upcoming days. It's going to stay dry across most of the southeast as a result of that large area of high pressure. and it is not budging much. And some colder air continues to spill in across much of the Great Lakes and the Tennessee Valley as a result of that northwesterly flow, and some lake effect snows occurring, and looks like that snowstorm, though, not all that great. We're going to warm up. You can see the blue starts to fade away as we go through time. We start to get into more of the yellows there, and that means temperatures will start to moderate. In fact, back into the mid-70s, even some 80s over South Texas as that cold air retreats northward. For boaters, winds out of the east tomorrow will start things off at around 10 knots, subsiding to 5 knots in the afternoon. Winds will switch around to a southwesterly direction. Seas will run 2 to 3 feet with a light to moderate chop out there. The UV index high tomorrow for beachgoers, high temperature right around 68 degrees. And tides upcoming, the low tide will be at 8:23 and a high tide at 1:43. Sunset at 6:10, so just in a few minutes from now. And the forecast, patchy frost, mainly well inland, 42 for your low. Chilly conditions to start things off tomorrow. Mostly sunny, not as windy tomorrow. High temperature 68 degrees. And the extended forecast does call for warmer temperatures and lots of sunshine right through the weekend. Highs into the mid-70s after we get through Tuesday. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Drivers may want to avoid in the area near I-75 and US 301. This is the exit in Manatee County. Emergency vehicles are in that area, and the traffic is backed up a little.
Thousands of travelers are stranded after a computer outage forced Delta Airlines to cancel flights. The airline's computer systems went down yesterday. It forced Delta to cancel more than 100 flights this morning. The company's CEO apologized in a message on the airline's website and called the failure unacceptable. It's not known yet what caused the computer outage. 2 flights were affected by the outage at Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport.
Ford is one of several companies speaking out against President Trump's travel ban. In a joint statement to its employees, Ford's CEO and the chairman said the policy goes against the company's values. This isn't the first time that Ford has sparred with the president. Mr. Trump has repeatedly blasted the company for making cars in Mexico. Earlier this year, Ford dropped plans for a new plant in Mexico, but it is not closing its existing production in the country.
Fallout from Volkswagen's huge emissions cheating scandal is still unfolding, but it hasn't stopped the German company from dethroning Toyota as the world's biggest selling automaker. Toyota's global sales inched up slightly to 10.2 million vehicles last year. That's a little bit less, though, than what VW delivered over the same period. Toyota managed to fend off a challenge from VW in 2015 when the German company first became embroiled in the diesel emissions scandal, but Volkswagen is now recovering from that heavy setback.
Entertainment news is coming up next.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Thinking about having surgery can be a scary thing. And it takes somebody who's in severe pain, bring them in, take good care of them, and then get them out and back to their life is huge. We focus on minimally invasive approaches when possible, and oftentimes people can be back up on their feet in a day or two with a whole lot less pain than before surgery. We fix people's lives. We do.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Mary Tyler Moore has been laid to rest during a private ceremony in Connecticut.
Around 50 people attended the funeral and burial service in Fairfield yesterday. The gravesite was adorned with a statue of an angel and scores of flowers, including white orchids and roses. The Emmy-winning actress, best known for her TV sitcom roles in The Mary Tyler Moore Show and The Dick Van Dyke Show. She passed away last Wednesday at the age of 80. A small number of fans gathered outside the front gate of the cemetery with signs saying, "Rest in peace and Mary Love."
Actor Kel Penn has raised more than $500,000 for Syrian refugees. Penn, whose parents are Indian, responded to an Instagram commenter who told him he, quote, didn't belong in this country by launching a fundraiser on Saturday. Penn asked followers to donate to the fundraiser in that commenter's name. Penn starred in the show House and in the Harold and Kumar films. He also served as an associate director in former President Obama's White House Office of Public Engagement.
Miss France is the new Miss Universe. 24-year-old dental surgery student Iris Mittenaer beat 12 other finalists to take the crown. As Miss Universe, she will be campaigning for dental and oral health around the world. The pageant was held at the Mall of Asia Arena in Manila, Philippines. Host Steve Harvey joked on the show that he got the winner right this year after last year's big thing where he accidentally announced the incorrect winner, but he did correct it quickly. But this Miss Universe is beautiful.
Stunning. A country music legend now has his very own key to Sarasota. City Manager Tom Barwin gave the Grammy Award-winning superstar Kenny Rogers a gold key. Rogers made a stop on the Suncoast Friday night when he brought his final world tour, The Gambler's Last Steal, to the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall. Rogers has played to millions of fans around the world and was inducted into Country Music's Hall of Fame in 2013.
Very cool.
Seems to like that key.
He deserves it. We'll be right back.